Good afternoon on what is a cool, grey, and cloudy day. It is Wednesday, the 25th of September, and I'm in the reading nook with a nice hot cup of tea and a box to unbox. And what I've got here is Magic Realms, The Art of Fighting Fantasy by Ian Livingstone and Jonathan Green. Ian Livingstone is best known as the co-founder of Games Workshop and the co-creator with Steve Jackson of the Fighting Fantasy series, whilst Jonathan Green is a gaming historian and publisher who has already written at least two histories of the Fighting Fantasy series of adventure, solo adventure game books. This is published by Unbound Books. Magic Realms celebrates the art and artists whose stunning work brought the fighting fantasy phenomenon to life. Written by Fighting Fantasy co-creator Ian Livingstone and Fighting Fantasy historian Jonathan Green, it features some of the world's best artists and illustrators and is a who's who of fighting fantasy art. So presumably there's going to be a lot of good, really fantastic artwork to look at in here, as the series was renowned for the quality of its covers and also for the black and white artwork which appeared in its pages and illustrated various locations, monsters and encounters, and so on. And presumably, I mean, obviously, if you've got an interest in the Fighting Fantasy series or in non-linear storytelling, this may well be the book for you. Oh, and we've got the signed by both Jonathan Green and Ian Livingstone. And this is a fairly thick, heavy kind of coffee table style book. List of all the artists highlighted, featured in the issue. Got a forward by Ian Livingstone, quite a lengthy one. I mean, the thing is, it's sort of like Games Workshop and Fighting Fantasy are subjects that over the years he will return to again and again. Not just in relaunching, certainly Fighting Fantasy on more than one occasion, but also, in talking about it, going over its history, podcast interviews, and the like. We have introduction by Jonathan Green, and a notation about basically how the books themselves are numbered, and that's really it. That's amount as far essentially as right the context you get in the book before you are into the first artist, and that's Chris Achilleos, renowned fantasy author, fantasy artist, I should say, and illustrator of covers too many to mention. Many of these will have graced the covers of books and gaming supplements and so on over the years. And you'll find that again and again with many of these artists. In many cases, these are pieces of artwork that people will recognize, not just from the Fighting Fantasy series, but from game books, many of which will have come from Games Workshop. This is a cover of basically Warlock of Fight. That's going to be the most recent version. So it also includes black and white artwork as well, the interior illustrations of these books. Pieces like this, and fantastic sense of energy and fun in that piece. And in many ways, I actually like black and white artwork more than the covers. covers are great. I'm not going to take anything away from them, but in some ways the black and white artwork is more interesting. And the other thing, of course, is you're going through this, and you're going to find, your favorite pieces of artwork, your favorite artists. I mean, here basically John Blanche is well known for his artwork for Games Workshop. This is appeared in this, cover for Warhammer Fantasy Role Playbook. I'm thinking Dying of the Light, which is the campaign which takes essentially not in the city of Marienburg, literally just around it. But you've got very specific kind of type covers here for the Fighting Fantasy series and the Fighting Fantasy kind of world books as well. Smaller pieces like this included, so it's quite a comprehensive look work. You've also got maps like the land of Karkabad for Steve Jackson's Sorcery, the four-part series, which you could buy separately, or you could buy sort of like a slipcase set. Brian Bolland contributions. His were not a fantasy per se, but it's sort of like to the more science fiction or basically superheroes, Final Fantasy books. Obviously, best known is for his artwork on 2000 AD and his design of Judge Dredd. Jim Burns, who would have done his vehicles would have graced images of vehicles would have graced many a gaming supplement. So that one it would have been on. Trying to think of the name of the Freeway Fighter. But here you've got sort of like his cover for the board game Battle Cars, which is the game shop answer to Car Wars. And they've got covers there from the magazine Warlock, I believe. There is so much to show you in this book because it's very obviously very visual because it's artwork. So there's something good on every page. Les Edwards, recognizable for from his covers for White Dwarf magazine, and also for his inserts, which appeared in the pages of the version of Call of Cthulhu that Games Workshop published as a one book, third edition, basically some cover inserts by him. And that's the version of Call of Cthulhu that British players tend to go, yes, that's my preferred version. Here we've got fantastic shots of Dracula-like vampire. So it's still quite a lot more to look at. To the Warlock himself there and the minions under his control. Yeah, it's a case of sort of like flipping through, finding the interesting artwork to show. It's all good artwork, but it's you also got some cartography as well. And this is a map of Alancia, which is one of the settings of the world of Fighting Fantasy. So you could actually place all of the books into this world for the fantasy ones anyway. And then you have Peter Andrew Jones, famous obviously for that original cover, that original fantastic cover. Also for Starship Traveller, the first science fiction fighting fantasy book. Um, and here, instead of actually just several pieces of artwork, what we've actually got is kind of a more detailed breakdown of this one piece, as you can see. So if I show you that, that's the finished composition. But here you have pencils, drawings, and then placing them together and giving the full paint um, process. Forest of Doom there, Forest of Chaos, um, Forest of Doom, um, and that's another kind of art signature cover for um, fighting fantasy. And more black and white artwork. There's lots of that in here. You know, lots of it. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. And again, this is a Port of Peril, but you can see sort of like the development of the characters and their ultimate portrayal in this fully painted piece. Then we've got pieces from the late, much missed Martin McKenna, who contributed several pieces, as well as to several quite a lot of artwork to other Games Workshop products as well. Among my favourites for his are the artwork in Green and Pleasant Land called Cthulhu, the first supplement for the United Kingdom for Call of Cthulhu, as well as contributions towards Games Workshop as well. So it's great to see his artwork included. You know, like fantastic to see sort of like you've got a fish man there, but I mean that could be a deep one. So lots of terrific artwork in here. I'm really, I'm about halfway through, just showing that to you. And you've got another composition piece, and then you've got the fully realised piece there. Um, and that's one of the covers to one of the history books. Same again. Basically, again, you've got Ian Miller again, another great contribution to Fighting Fantasy and Games Workshop books, and also books for Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. And then we have again also the late, much missed Russ Nicholson. Again, there's the shot of image of Zagor the Warlock. Go. But he's also as much known for his contributions to the Fiend Folio for Dungeons and Dragons. But here you've got sort of like images of sort of like the original, many of his original pieces from the Warlock of Firetop Mountain, which really showcased his black and white artwork very well. Favorite pieces in here. There we go. Just that, sort of like just a simple couple of goblins or orcs just sort of discussing, just lounging around doing nothing. But it's really effective. Um, and another famous cover. That was basically the Fighting Fantasy book, I think. And then we've got shots from Scorpion Swamp Over. And that's from the zombie horror Fighting Fantasy book that was released a few years ago. And then it's covering sort of like some of the Fighting Fantasy artists who sort of like, contributed, but not in a major way. So we've got some photography and sort of like just some more singular shots. We're just giving them a little bit of a spotlight. I think it's a nice addition. And then we've got overseas editions artists. What I love about this is, it's not all about sort of like the artists for the British books, but I mean, it shows you how far-reaching the series was and continues to be in multiple different languages. focus on Puffin Books, of course, first publisher of Final Fantasy series, and you've got all of those covers placed in order. Steve Jackson's Sorcery, and then the later publishers, including Wizard Books and the Blood of the Zombies. That's the horror. Scholastic Books. And Shadows of the Giants is the most recent one to be published. I don't have a copy of it yet. I keep meaning to. Then we've got overseas editions. Again, another nice acknowledgement. Various different languages: French, German, Japanese. Spanish as well. And then the Warlock of Mountain. This is essentially all of the covers for the original in different markets. We look at Warlock magazine. That was, about 12, 13 issues. There we go. That was black and white sided, fairly sort of like cheaply done, but it did give you a nice little hit of fighting fantasy excitement every month. Graphic novels. Artwork from those. Then Freeway Fighter, which is the one I have read. Miniature figures, including that infamous lizard basking in its pool of magma, the lizard demon thing from the Forest of Doom. So some classic creatures, sort of entries there, including Zagor himself as miniatures, nicely painted as well, presented. Not just bare metal. This is what you could do if you were good enough, as it were. Nicely photographed. And then we've got them a bit more detail close up. And then we have the complete Fighting Fantasy library. This lists titles, authors, artists, interior artists, and so on, and date of publication. Well, nice edition there. Includes Steve Jackson's Sorcery and the two-player version. Advanced Fighting Fantasy novels, and more. That's the authors, and then we've got the index, acknowledgements, and of course, list of backers. There we go. That brings it to a close. So yeah, that is Magic Realms, the art of fighting fantasy from Unbound Books. This is something that if you're interested in fighting fantasy, or you're definitely going to want this on the shelf alongside the histories. It's a lovely looking book. Really does throw a spotlight on the artwork, brings it to life, brings back some great memories, and just shows you how fantastically they were illustrated back in the day. Absolutely, I was really impressed by that. Anyway, in the meantime, thanks for watching another unboxing in the Nook. If you enjoyed this, then please do click on the like button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to get more unboxings in the Nook, where you'll see me out here with a package containing a book or game or role-playing stuff, in this case, a pictorial or artistic history of the Fighting Fantasy series, which I will unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea, then do please hit on the subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching. I will be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.